Welcome back to the Storybook Nook, original bedtime stories for kids. Have you ever wondered what lies beneath the sea? Well, tonight we will join our friend Tommy on yet another magical adventure, and you just might discover the answer to that question. So, let's settle in, snuggle up, and let the magic of the Storybook Nook carry us into the adventure of Tommy and the lost city beneath the sea. Tommy loved bedtime, not just because of cozy blankets and bedtime stories, but because his dreams were always full of adventure. One evening, as Tommy snuggled into bed, his grandfather handed him an old weathered map. Its edges were curled, and the ink had faded in some places. "This," Grandpa said with a twinkle in his eye, "is said to lead to a lost city beneath the sea, but no one has ever found it." Tommy's eyes widened. "A hidden city under the ocean? That sounds amazing." Grandpa chuckled. "Maybe, if you dream big enough, you'll find it yourself." Tommy smiled sleepily, tucking the map under his pillow. The soft rustling of the paper made him feel as if adventure was already calling. But just as he closed his eyes, his pillow began to glow. A soft golden light surrounded him, and suddenly he felt as though he were floating, not in his bed, but in water. The world around him shifted. A cool, gentle current wrapped around him, carrying him deeper, 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 until... Splash! Tommy landed softly on the ocean floor, but he wasn't wet. He looked down at himself. He could breathe, he could move, and his pajamas felt just as dry as when he'd fallen asleep. All around him, the ocean shimmered. Tiny fish, glowing like fireflies, swam in swirling patterns. The sand beneath his feet sparkled like gold dust. The water wasn't dark and murky. It was full of light. And then, ahead of him, he saw it, a city beneath the sea. Tall towers made of seashells, coral bridges arching over glowing rivers, and streets paved with smooth, shimmering pearls. Mysterious lights flickered inside domed buildings, and Tommy could hear a soft, musical humming in the water. Before he could take a step, a voice spoke. "Welcome, Tommy." He turned and gasped. A shimmering sea guardian floated before him. It had the sleek body of a dolphin, but its wings spread wide like a manta ray, trailing silver mist. Its eyes were kind but wise, glowing softly like two tiny moons. Tommy swallowed hard. "How do you know my name?" The guardian smiled. "The ocean listens to those who believe in magic." Tommy blinked. Was this a dream? It felt too real. The guardian gestured toward the city. "You have been chosen to visit Lumeris, the lost city of the sea. But there is something very important you must do while you are here." Tommy's curiosity burned like a flickering flame. "What is it?" The guardian's expression grew serious. "The Heart of Lumeris, a magical pearl that keeps this city alive, has grown dim. If it fades completely, Lumeris will disappear forever." Tommy gasped. "That's terrible! How can I help?" The guardian's wings fluttered. "Only a visitor from the world above can awaken the heart. But to do that, you must first find it." Tommy grinned. "A treasure hunt? Now that sounded like an adventure." Tommy set off through the city, marveling at everything around him. Schools of rainbow-colored fish swam past, weaving between coral towers. Tiny, jelly-like creatures bobbed in the water, glowing softly like lanterns. First, Tommy checked the coral gardens. The plants waved gently in the currents, their colors shifting like the sunset. He ran his fingers over a spiraled seashell, but there was no sign of the magical pearl. Next, he explored the bubble caves. where giant air bubbles floated like balloons. He poked one, and it popped with a soft chime, but still no pearl. Then Tommy reached the glowing lagoon. The water here shimmered with golden light, and a sea turtle as large as a dining table rested on the sand. "Excuse me, Mr. Turtle," Tommy said. "Have you seen the Heart of Lumeris?" The turtle lifted its head sleepily. The heart? Ah, young traveller, it rests where the moon touches the sea." Tommy frowned. Where the moon touches the sea? Suddenly, he remembered. He had seen something earlier, a great archway at the edge of the city, shaped like a crescent moon. Heart racing, Tommy swam toward it. And there, beneath the arch, he found it. A brilliant, glowing pearl, resting on a silver pedestal. But its light flickered weakly, as if it were about to go out. Tommy didn't know what to do, but then he remembered something his grandpa always said: magic listens to those who believe. Tommy placed his hands gently around the pearl and closed his eyes. "I believe in the magic of Lumeris," he whispered. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, whoosh! A brilliant light burst from the pearl, flooding the city with color. The towers glowed, the rivers sparkled, and the soft humming sound rose into a beautiful song. Lumeris had been restored. The Guardian appeared beside Tommy, his silver wings shimmering. "You have saved Lumeris, Tommy." Tommy beamed. "I just believed." The Guardian nodded. "And that is the greatest magic of all." A soft humming filled the water again, and Tommy felt himself floating upward, weightless, as the golden glow surrounded him once more. Whoosh! He blinked, and he was back in his bed. The morning sun peeked through his window. His pillow was cool beneath his head. Had it all been a dream? But then something caught his eye. On his nightstand, sitting right beside the old map, was a tiny glowing pearl. Tommy grinned. Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't a dream after all. Thanks for joining us at the Storybook Nook. Remember to like and subscribe so you never miss a bedtime story. Sweet dreams, sleep well, and see you next time for a new story.